Hello, everybody. How are you today? It is Valentine's Day, but what I'm going to share is really for any day of the week. It doesn't matter. But I do wish you happy Valentine's Day. And I hope you do something lovely. And even if you're not in a relationship, do something lovely for yourself. Go enjoy a movie or buy yourself flowers or whatever it is that you like to do. I know for me, I spent the morning watercoloring because it's a medium of art that I'm learning. I love painting and I've used acrylics for many, many years. I was always afraid to try watercolor because it seems so daunting, but I'm trying it and it's fun. When you learn certain techniques, it's amazing. And isn't that like life? It's like when we learn the techniques of how to live a proper way, an enlightened, conscious way, life is so much better, isn't it? It really is. And I know you heard me talk about in other videos how most people live by default, really. You know, we just live like everything programmed into us when we were young, and all the hurt and the pain and the good and the bad and traditions and anything else that are just within us. And we grow up and we have other experiences that then our perspective is skewed by because of how we grew up. You know, we live by default. So many people on this planet have never learned to live on purpose. And living on purpose means understanding the aspects of your own life, is understanding how your past has created your present. And every single day is going to be the same unless we begin to change our ways, our thought patterns, and to help heal ourselves, especially those of us who were traumatized as children in varying ways. Because there's consequences to that can't be changed or ignored. When we ignore it, life kind of gets worse. It does. But I'm here to talk about a part of our life that I think is incredibly important in all of us. And because it involves the creative force of life, and you can call it anything you want, but that's one aspect of this immeasurable, higher being, this power. Some people say God, some people will say, you know, divine or universe or spirit. It's all those things and more. There's really no one word or phrase that we can attribute to this magnificent power, but it's a creative power. Look at the universe, the universes. You know, just our galaxy alone has 200 billion stars. And our star in the Milky Way here in our galaxy, our star, I believe it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who said 1 million Earths can fit into our star. But our star is dwarfed by the other ones out there in our galaxy. It's mind-blowing. It's incredible. And it's all in order and functioning and timed and growing, and there's so much to this universe, let alone our galaxy, let alone our planets. The planets we're so close to, our closest planets. Mercury and Venus and Mars and Jupiter and on. That's our little spot in this universe. And believe it or not, on this planet with the billions of people here, we are all inhabiting that creative force of life within us, that love, that immeasurable love that is so hard sometimes to connect with because our minds and our worries and our concerns overtake connecting with that very spiritual part of us. And yes, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And maneuvering in this human world isn't easy sometimes. And it takes support, it takes understanding, it takes learning. And it takes having compassion and empathy to walk on this planet and to learn to love one another. You know, there are so many aspects to this world and to being human, you know, and there's so many ways we can delve into the psyche and the behavior of humans and the thoughts patterns and you know, how we respond and react and the habits we have, the belief systems that we have. And you know, a belief is just something we are told over and over again until we believe it. You know, you can tell a child 100 million times the sky is green and they're going to believe it because they don't know any different. You can tell a child how much you love them and cherish them, and you guide them and you teach them, and they're going to grow up with really great security within themselves and a good sense of what it's like to be have a self-awareness and self-confidence and a healthy self-esteem. Now, we have to understand that there's so many different ways in which we live on this planet, different cultures, different beings, different people. But I'm telling you, all of us have the creative force of life running through us because we're living in it. The space around you, everything. It's of God, if we want to say God. You can say God. I don't want to tell you what word to say. Again, there are no words to describe. I mean, there's just none. But we try. We try. And even humans, you know, in this world, if you think about it, we're always aware of a higher being, a higher something of who made that, who made the stars, the sun, the moon, who, way back when. Before there was civilizations of sorts, there was wonder about it all because it's built into us to want to know and to understand. And in that time and in that history, people began to develop what it is. And then you get fallible humans telling us what it is because of what they think it is, and then it becomes controlling, and then they tell you what to believe and how to believe, and then these religions, which there are hundreds of them around the world, grow. And when you're very young and you're told this is what it is, and this is what you should believe, and this is how you should believe it, or else, that's kind of where everything muddies the water, I think. It did for me. But I want to remind you how incredible of a human being you are, and amazing. And you've heard me say it 100 times, if not 1,000,000 times. You're an amazing human being. You're a miracle on this planet. And you matter so much. You matter so much. You really, really do. Now, some of you know that I've been a coach for 30 years, helping people, especially people who are traumatized as children. I don't take the place of therapy. I'm all for therapy, but what I hope to do and what I do is be supportive and guiding and sharing information that might be helpful. And also, I'm a practicing medium, which means I'm psychic, because you can't be a medium if you're not psychic. But not all psychics are mediums. I hope that makes sense. So when I see the perspective of the world and where I am today, and having had such marvelous, incredible, immeasurable understanding and learning of formal training of mediumship, and a higher understanding of this life and life after, the bigger picture gets bigger. I hope that makes sense, because I like to see the bigger picture in things in this world. When life gets hard, and it does, and when life feels overwhelming, and it can, if we can see a bigger picture in our life, it makes it that much better. You see that the outcome is going to be different. Whatever you're going through right now, and it might be hard, What's it going to look like next year? Maybe this situation won't even be on your mind. It won't even be something you think about anymore because it's just not relevant. So sometimes the hardships that we go through are more there for learning. It's to teach us. It's a way of guidance. It's not fun. Sometimes it's just not fun. But they're lessons to be learned. And then you have the natural effects of life. When we lose somebody to death that we love, that's hard. There's nothing like grief. You know, grief is equated with the love we had for that person, if you think about it. And sometimes that grief is hard and sad and long, and we miss these people. We miss them in our lives, especially the more we love them. And there's a sense of honor to grief as well. But with all these things, what I want to share with you is there is life after this one. And it doesn't matter what you believe. And this is the bigger picture I want to talk about. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in. It doesn't matter what God you believe in. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in anything at all. I can tell you that. You're still going to go on to the other side. Our bodies die, but who we are and our true essence lives on. It lives on. I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. I've had the honor and the privilege and the sacred moments to bring through other people, other loved ones on the other side. And do you want to know something? They watch us. They love us. They're there with us. Just like when they were here on earth. They loved us. They listened to us. We laughed together. We celebrated together. We had birthdays together. We cried together. All of it. It doesn't stop when you're on the other side. Think of it this way. If you're a parent, you love your children. No matter how old they are, you love them, and they're always your child, right? You're there for them, you celebrate with them, the whole thing, just what I said. And with good friends. And when you go to the other side, when this body takes its last breath, your true essence of who you are goes to the other side. And it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't. I've brought through atheists who were atheists on this planet, laughing, saying, "Can you believe I'm doing this? Can you believe this?" to the person that's sitting in front of me. I never thought in a million years this was anything. And there they are, sharing their life and memories and evidence. The bigger picture is, when you understand, at least this is my philosophy, you know what, it doesn't, I'm not telling you what to think or believe, but this is me. Having these experiences and having this understanding, and it's always growing, and I'll always be learning more and more, but when you have this bigger picture, suddenly the things that used to matter don't anymore. And what I mean by that is, well, I believe this way and so should you. Or I'm this color and you're not. Or I have a lot of money and you don't. I'm telling you, it evens out the playing field when you know this bigger picture. No one's better than anybody else. Not in real life and not in real time and not on the other side. But on this planet, there are people who, yes, they have, their abilities have brought them fame and fortune, and some fortune not in a very ethical way. But just because someone has more than you, or is famous, or this, that, or the other thing, there's the playing field is the same. This is what I want to tell you. Each of us has a beautiful creative flow within us because we are of the creative force of life. Creativity never ends. Our world is still creating. Our world still is growing with earthquakes and volcanoes and everything else that helps this planet stay alive and grow. It's still evolving. It's still creating itself. It's still there. And so are we. So I hope for your sake that if you find something that you love, that you will do it. Allow that creative flow to move through you, to work through you, to grow through you, to challenge you. That's one big reason why we're here. And you know what? When we do that, we are growing ourselves, but you don't even know the possibilities of how you might be serving somebody else. And that is beautiful. There's a book I read a couple of decades back, and it's called Flow. And it's a Hungarian psychiatrist or psychologist who wrote Flow. I'm going to read something here. His name is Mihaly. Please forgive me, I'm going to butcher his last name. Csikszentmihalyi. Oh gosh, I told you I can't. It's a very long, wordy, lot of consonants in this last name, and I'm sorry if I messed it up, but it's called Flow, and I don't know if you're seeing this backwards or not. Maybe you are. It's a psychology of optimal experience. It illuminates the way to happiness, and he talks about flow. He talks about this creative flow. He talks about and studied it and it's a marvelous book. It can be a little dry at times, but it is really, really marvelous how he studied it. And to me, flow is the essence of, it can be the verb of just flowing. It's like getting so caught up in something you love, whatever it might be. I can sit and paint for hours, painting nothing. I mean, just practicing and doing techniques and and I can get lost in it for hours. And then I'll come to because, I'm really thirsty, or, I'm really hungry because I haven't eaten or I didn't drink anything in hours time. And my body's saying, hey, wake up. It's time to refresh yourself, and we get caught up and we love it. It could be golfing. People love golfing and the precision it takes to golf, and they get lost in the techniques and music, people who write music and go to a studio and get lost in just creating songs and music and blending harmonies and instruments. And, man, days can go by doing that. That's incredible. Whatever it might be for you. You could be a programmer and you create such marvelous, intricate ways to program something, right? It can be easier the way you do it. I don't understand that part, but you can, or engineers who can create and develop ways to build stronger and mightier bridges and roads or buildings. See, creativity doesn't just mean the arts necessarily. It's in everything. Everything. And the way we can experience that is just allowing ourselves the time to do it. Now, believe me, I know some people are so super busy. I get it. There was a time in my life I was raising 4 kids and worked part-time and went to school part-time, and I get it. I get it. You can be very busy and overwhelmed. But always take time for yourself. Take time for yourself. Allow yourself to just relax, just meditate, or just enjoy something that you love to do. Being creative is being connected, I think, to the divine, to the creative force of life, to the universe, to spirit, to whatever name or names we want to give to this incredible, beautiful, creative force of life. It's remarkable. One of the things I love to do too is walk. When I go for walks, I feel like, it's gonna sound corny to you, but I feel like the trees that I pass, I know them. They're like friends and they're beautiful. And I get to watch every season they go through. I get to watch them when the buds start happening in spring, which is soon. They're already starting to make these buds on the trees and on the plants. And then watching them bloom and seeing the beautiful green in the summer. And then when they begin to turn in the fall, it's heaven on earth. The beauty, the spectacular beauty of autumn, at least where I live, there are no words for it. And I love the seasons. I happen to like winter. I like snow. I don't like the annoying snow and blizzards when things are shut down, but I don't like to drive in it either. But I appreciate it. I love snow. I love the seasons. I can't imagine not living in the seasons. I used to, and it was not fun for me because I like the seasons. That's me though, that's me. So I'm on here to remind you of the bigger picture and to love yourself. My whole channel here is about loving yourself. If you've watched any of my videos, and I hope you go back and watch more, look at the titles. Again, it's not a fancy channel, and I'm sorry for that. I don't know how to make it better, but I'll work at it. But my heart and soul are in these videos. It's everything that I've known to share, almost everything, not everything, but almost everything to share with you as a coach, as a mentor, as an author, speaker, workshop leader, of what I know to help people get through life, how to understand how you operate as a human being, and how to connect with your spirit. Because it doesn't matter what you believe. And I know that's going to rattle some feathers. People are not going to like that because they've been staunch believers of this is what you have to believe or else. You can believe that for yourself. Everybody's on their own journey, and which is fine. But we all go to the other side. And here is something that if I can plant a seed in anybody who doesn't believe in anything, all I would want to share with you is you might want to look into and take time to nurture that spiritual side of you, because it's there, whether you believe it or not. You know, it's like we fly in airplanes. I don't understand aerodynamics, but I'm sitting on that airplane and I can say all I want. It's never going to fly. This is never going to fly. And then here we are, 32,000 feet up in the air. Anyway, I really felt like I wanted to share this with you today. And I hope you share this with others. And look at the other videos, look at the content, look at the subject matter, and maybe something will help you, or you have questions. I'm easy to get a hold of. My email is info.maryalice22@gmail.com. You can ask a question, you can give a comment. But on any of the videos, it would help me so much to just have subscribers and likes. I would appreciate it very much from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for that. And you know what? I hope you have a great rest of your day, because you are an amazing human being and you are a miracle on this planet, and you do truly matter. So go have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.